So, without further ado, welcome to the world's jolliest webinar. I had a lot of fun making this little slide right here. Thank you to flaticon.com for providing me the icons to make this this little video, or this little scene right here, if you will. As I mentioned in the email, oh, hey guys, how you doing? As I mentioned in the email, George will not be able to join us today. He is he's feeling a little bit sick, and I'm not sure what his sorry about that. Yeah, he's feeling a little bit sick. Not sure what's going on there. It sounds like he might have a little bronchitis. We don't think it's COVID. Might be a little bronchitis. So he's unable to join us today. And so Luke is more than capable of pinch hitting for us. And so he's going to get some screen time and talk a little bit about end of year reports and all these other things. And of course, we're going to have a good Q&A session afterwards.
Absolutely.
So, Luke, you want to chat? You want to talk a little bit before we get things kicked off?
Well, hey everyone. I'm Luke. If you don't know, I'm sure you've all talked to me on the phones before with various issues, and yeah, I'm just really thrilled to be presenting today. And we're basically going to go over some end of year stuff and some stuff that will apply to everyone, whether you're a municipality or a road commission or a township. What we're going to be going through will apply to anyone who does payroll or pays vendors. So
Right.
have a great time.
Gotcha. As always, I am happy to run this. So if you have any questions, just pop them over to send them in the chat to me. And I will I'll respond. I'll do what I can to we'll talk about it at any points. Obviously Luke will be the question answerer, not me. I'm the marketing guy. I'm not the reports guy. I haven't been touching this the entire time. So for quick to run down today's agenda. So quicker update on the reviews program. Get into our main content, our end of year reporting. Giving you guys a quick update on our out of office schedule. And then the next webinar, we're only going to do one in the month of January because of all the hecticness that goes around. And yeah, just to make sure that we're not getting too hectic here. So great. Well, first things first. Thank you to everyone who has done a review thus far. I know on these specific websites, it takes a little bit of time for the reviews to go live. So we aren't told when a review goes live, or so we're told when a review goes live. We're not told when one is submitted. So if you have given us a review, please let us know. And if it's still pending, please let me know. Because again, I'm very passionate about what the Salvation Army does. I think they're the greatest charity in the world. Especially during Christmas time, this is their big time of the year. So if you have done a review, let me know so that I can credit you with that donation, and so that we can get the money to those who really need it. And you know, whether or not the review goes live in time, regardless, I want to make sure the donation is made so that we can give people the help that they need. And also, as people may know, on Capterra. So there's G2, Capterra, and Software Connect. On Capterra, the specific program also will get you a gift card. I think it's either a gift card or a donation to charity, whichever one. Again, that is not funded by us. That is completely through the reviews company, through Capterra. So we checked it with a couple people. I know Stephanie helped us out with that. Checking it in to make sure that is kosher with gift laws. And again, that's a $25 gift, which would not be, which is under the $50 requirement. So We're trying to keep things as kosher as possible. I don't want any questions to happen there. I want us to use this money to impact, to make a big impact for those in our communities, especially this year. And so if there's any questions about that or anything that I should be aware of, please let me know about that. Again, I want to make sure everything is as kosher as possible. And again, the donation will be made to whichever Salvation Army division serves your side of the state. It's split right down the middle. I believe the Lansing area is on the west side. But yeah, split right down the middle. So if you're on the west side, it's going to Western Michigan. If you're up in the UP, let me know and we'll find a different charity. I know a lot of you guys did the previous review program, identified great charities. I'm more than willing to do another donation to the same charity again. Or if there's another one that's great during this time, we could do that again. Again, this is just me making donations. So we can organize that for there. And I'm more than happy to make changes as necessary. I want to serve the community as best as we can. One last thing, donations will be made on December 23rd. That's just to give them an encouragement right at the death of the hour, or right in the nick of time, to get them the help that they need. The links have been sent out already. I'll send them out again in the email that'll go out after today's webinar with the recording. As you guys know, the same, I always send out the link to the video. I'll include those review links again. I'll be sending them out about once a week as well. If you guys could take, it's about 5 minutes per review, take 15 minutes and get these done. Get the $30 for the Salvation Army or another charity, and it will help us get more clients and be able to serve you guys better. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to let me know. Again, I'm here to help. This is a really great opportunity and a great way to get us get our name out there and get us more clients. So appreciate your help on that. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Luke, who's going to take us through year-end processes and reports. And again, get in the chat, send questions directly to me or to everyone in the chat. We'll address them live on air. Luke, take it away.
All right. So for for W-2 processing, there's a lot of things that need to kind of all work together to make a smooth rollout of W-2. So one of the biggest things is to confirm all of the employees' contact information being accurate. So basically what that kind of entails is making sure like all their addresses are up to date, phone numbers, email addresses, that you have SSNs for everybody. Because I know sometimes it's hard to get somebody's SSN. If they have a driver's license that you need to have on file, that you make sure that in employee maintenance there's a spot for the driver's license number and all of that's filled in, because all that information does show up on the W-2. So right now, before January, it's a good time to get all of that confirmed, and if any changes need to be made, get those changes made. As well as with W-4s going into the new year, it's a good time to sit down with employees and have them fill out a new W-4 for any kind of changes to their withholding if they need to. Especially since they did revamp the entire W-4 for 2020. If an employee still is on the 2019 W-4, now is a great time to go ahead and get them onto the 2020 W-4, because it's going to change their withholding quite considerably, and make it so that they don't have as much of a so that they don't owe as much or have as big of a refund at the end of the year, which means that they get more out of their paycheck every pay period. Then, as well as with the W-2s, deductions need to be set up correctly. So if you have like a MERS deduction and it needs to go on, say like in box 12 or box 14, that information is put into the deductions set up correctly, so that it shows up on the W-2s when you go to print them the first time. As well as like any contact information for the organization, like for example your EIN number, and the contact person that shows up on the W-3 as the person for contact. Make sure that's all correct and set up in the settings organization tab, as well as your organization address if that hasn't been set up yet. Then also any third-party sick pay, if you have any for the fourth quarter of 2020, make sure all that's been entered into the system before the W-2s are ran, so that they have an accurate W-2 for the year. If you guys have to file third-party sick pay with your W-2s. So those are some basic tips and tricks that we've seen people kind of need, or just a reminder for some things that make the W-2s processing go really simple and really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Any questions about this? Put them in the chat. Has anyone else had any interesting ways that to make W-2s at the end of the year a lot easier, or anything that has that you'd like us to go into more detail about regarding W-2s? Feel free to unmute yourself and add something, or again, pop something in the chat. More than willing to help with that. But yeah, obviously, as critical as these are for end of year stuff, just brief reminders, checking in with people, making sure that they know, hey, we're paying attention to this stuff, and we want to ensure everything is accurate, get you as much money as possible. That would be it's ideal. Not that you guys already know this, but just double checking. In that case, moving on. 1099. Go for it, Luke.
All right. So for 1099s, the IRS put out a new 1099 form, which is actually an old 1099 form that they had in the 70s that they retired, and now they're bringing back, called the 1099 NEC. So everybody's familiar with the 1099 MIS, and now they brought back the 1099 NEC. Probably, I believe they said it was related to COVID stuff, that they're just bringing back that form because it's supposed to be simpler to fill out than the MIS. So most of your vendors are going to be 1099 NEC vendors, and going forward, there's still a few exceptions that we can go through a little later. Or if you have questions, I can send you the exceptions where they still will need a 1099 MIS. I believe like accounting firms and legal firms will still fall under the 1099 MIS. But most vendors that you do over $600 with in a calendar year will be filing a 1099 NEC for those. So then, with that being said, in vendor maintenance, we have a spot where you can tell the system whether it's a 1099 NEC or a 1099 MIS. So you want to go in and make sure for the vendors that need 1099 that that's set correctly, and we can go through that here in a second. And then make sure, cute doggy. And then make sure that each vendor has a tax ID, so whether that's an EIN number or an SSN for individuals, just make sure that's filled in, as that will need to be on the 1099 that gets printed. And then, of course, the correct contact information, if it's different than the regular vendor address, if they have a special address where you send the 1099s to, so that the vendor can process them, then make sure that's filled in correctly. And like I said, we'll go through that here in a few minutes. All right, Jeff.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, just a quick thing about our out of office schedule for the next couple of weeks. So we will be off on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, obviously. Monday the 28th. We'll be back in the office on the 29th and 30th, the Tuesday and Wednesday of the last week of the year. And then off on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Back to the regular schedule on Monday, January 4th. If you need a better descriptor of that, this is our little holiday calendar. It'll be sent out via our emails. So that's the plan right now. All of us have some big Christmas plans, and a few of us have New Year's plans as well. So we're gotta take some time to be with the family. I know I'm going down to Ohio. I got family in the Cleveland area, so we're doing that.
My wife and I are going down to Florida to visit her parents who are snowbirds down there. So they have their own house down there and up here. We'll be headed out to Florida this coming weekend. So I'll be taking a little bit of an extended vacation around Christmas time here.
He's that lucky duck. He gets to spend Christmas in the sun. We've got to be in the cold, bitter Michigan. I mean, it's not even snowing right now. We can't even get a white Christmas. Oh, we get some bitter coldness. It's bad. He's lucky. That's why we keep him around. So and I guess again, all of us have some big plans too, so we're excited about those. Mentioned also, so our next webinar will be January 11th. It'll be the only webinar of the month. Normally, obviously, we have been doing the two different webinars, two webinars a year or a month, a year, 2 webinars a year. 2 webinars a month. Sorry. 2 webinars a month. So the first Monday and the 15th. So we kind of combined that. So it's the second Monday of the month, January 11th at 10 a.m., the normal time. We might do a webinar later on if there absolutely needs to be one, but there won't be many updates in the upcoming one. We'll touch on another topic if you would like. Also, I'll email out the Zoom link. But one thing that I've noticed is we use the same when on Zoom. If you use a personal meeting ID and the same password, that the link is the exact same every time. So even though I've been sending out links pretty much every morning before a webinar, it's the same one every time. And so I'm probably going to do a bit.ly link just to make it look a little cleaner. And but yeah, it's even if I maybe miss one or you want to get one in early, the same Zoom link is used every single time. So yeah, no need to do a different one every time, even though I will be sending out emails every day that there is a webinar. So that's on that. Aside from that, any questions? Anything that we can answer? Anything that we can address? Otherwise, I was gonna ask more Christmas-related questions and see if anyone has any big plans. I know again, Luke is going over to Florida. I'm going to Ohio. Does anyone else have any big Christmas plans that they're looking forward to?
Or does anyone want to see anything in the software as well, like
correct
vendor processing or?
Oh, Roscommon. Okay. All right. Hey, thank you. I will get I'll get that taken care of for Roscommon. Right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the payroll kiosk we are currently still working on. We've gone in a few different directions, and so far what we've what we've worked on is just trying to get the user interface to be smooth and work well on the phone. So we've been running into some issues with the platform that we're using. So yeah, we're going to be pushing hard on it come January. We pushed out the call log for December here, and that took away from some development time. But like I said, we're working with the vendor of the platform that we're using to try and get some things resolved. So once those are resolved, then hopefully it's full steam forward, and hopefully we'll be able to push it out here shortly.
Yep. Continuing to plug and chug on that. We knew there'd be some snafus along the way, but hey, we're learning. We're getting it done.
Yep.
Frank, appreciate that. Appreciate that encouragement. The call log was a rough one to get handled. I know we had to keep pushing that one out, and there was a lot of plugging and chugging that we had to do on that. But we do appreciate that. We're glad to hear that you love it, because there's a lot that we had to put in getting that taken care of. Did you address not listing the person's name when we printed out? Luke, is there any details about that?
Yeah, we did address that. The report's in final testing right now, so it should be released later today. And that will just come as just a simple download. There isn't a program change for that, so just had to make sure that it would do what it needs to do, and then like I said, it should be released later this afternoon.
Gotcha.
And then we did fix in the next program update. We did fix some issues with the call log, with the call log resolvers. If they had the same name, it was hard to determine who was who. So we added the employee number into the call log resolver section. And I can actually demo that here if you guys would like to see that.
Yep. I will stop my share.
All right, I will share. All right, so under the assigned to, as you can see, we now have the employee number in here. And it looks like it changed the sort to be by the employee number. So if you're used to seeing the employees sorted by their employee number, that'll be easy to do. As well as if you type in their employee number, you'll get right to the person. Or if you type in, looks like if you type in their employee number, it'll get right to the person. Otherwise, you can pick it from the drop down. For contact, we added the contact ID to here, and we still sort by the contact name. So in case, like here, we have two Denise Freemans, so that you can tell the IDs are different. So if you had a call that was to Denise Freeman and it should be the later ID, then you'll be able to see what ID that they are attached to. And then I don't think I have the report loaded just yet. Okay, get that report here.
Looking at this kind of stuff makes me somewhat thankful that most of my work is done via emails and all these other different websites. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo. that Luke and George and Brett are able to wrangle that I'm far outside my capabilities.
While that's going on, I can show you in vendor maintenance what I was talking about with the 1099 section under the taxes for a particular vendor. You can set the EIN to either EIN, an SSN, or an ITIN. So the ITIN is used for if you have vendors that require a green card. So they're not employees, they're independent contractors, but they're like Canadian citizen that comes down to work, and you pay them with as an independent contractor, but they don't have an SSN or an EIN. They have the international tax identification. So it's the same format as an SSN, but it is just for completeness sake that we added the different determination. But you can see here, you can either pick 1099 NEC or 1099 MIS. And currently 1099 NEC, there's only one box where the amount goes into. So that's why it doesn't show you the 1099 box to put the dollar amount in. And then on the MIS, you can pick what box you want to put the dollars into for all the payments that you made to that vendor for the year. Most of the time it's non-employee compensation, box 7, but there are a few things that go into other income. I believe it's related to legal and accounting vendors. Certain ones of those will go into other income instead of box 7. And then if you check the box to use the 1099 address, you can put in a different address that gets printed on the actual 1099 themselves. So do you guys have any questions about that while I grab this here?
Anyone have any questions or anything to add, or any tips and tricks that they found? Frank asks, will the drop downs in the call log all be alphabetized, i.e. road names, townships, etc.?
Let me see here, go back to call log. So townships, yes, when you start the call log application, the townships will be sorted in alphabetical order, as well as the road names will be sorted in alphabetical order. As you can see, if you add a road name, it'll get added to the bottom, and then it'll get resorted if you close the call log screen and reopen the call log screen. And then as well as categories are now sorted by the category name instead of the ID, which is what it was sorted by before. All right, so now if we... Does that answer
your question, Frank? Gotcha. Great. Thank you.
So now you can see the contact name is Denise Freeman on here, and her phone number is on the report, so that you can view so now the contact person as well as their address is on the report, so the call log resolver can view that information, so that when this report gets printed or emailed out, they'll have that information there. Stephanie. Any other questions about call log or vendors or
anything else? Gotcha. Email is fine, just the printout, says Stephanie.
Have everybody ran the W-2s using the new W-2 system, or are there still a few people that have not run or that ran W-2s early last year and missed the new W-2 calculation? Or is everybody seeing what the new W-2 calculation looks like and everything?
Stephanie and Ross commented the new one.
Okay. I mean, I can go over it real quick if you guys would like to see that.
Yeah, I think it might be helpful.
All right. So under payroll, create W-2 forms. Basically, what you do is just pick the year. So we're going to do 2020, and you have options to say if you have two employee numbers that have the same SSN, you can either print the W-2s, print two separate W-2s for those people, or combine them together onto one W-2, which usually most people will combine them together on a single W-2 for an SSN. And then if you check the box for create third-party pay W-2s and the SSNs match, it'll add the third-party pay into the W-2 properly for that employee. Otherwise, if you don't combine them, then it'll create a separate W-2 with just the third-party pay portion. But otherwise, it'll add it to their wages and then check the appropriate boxes for third-party pay. And as you can see, we have 6 employees here that have, and then the next step will be to click on the calculate button. And as you can see, it is really, really quick. So we have 6 employees that we're doing W-2s for. So we do W-2 copy A, print, load up here for the 2020. And we did get approval for the 2020 W-2, so they will be coming as per the next program update here shortly. So basically, this is a PDF of the W-2, so you can either save it off as a PDF for your records, or print them on plain paper. And then if you pick the W-3, we have the 2020 W-3 as well. That can be printed on plain paper. It does not have to be printed on the red form. And then the W-2 4-up. I don't have the. Let me copy the. Let me copy and. I did the W-2 4-up for 2020. I just haven't copied it over.
One question. Let me know when you're done with this one. I can get a couple more questions too.
Okay.
For Stephanie has another question. 1099s, is the form built in yet?
It's not a PDF form. It's still a report. But we are providing a report that will allow you to print them on the actual form itself. So it's not on the pre-printed form. So you still have to buy the pre-printed forms for the 1099s, because the IRS, with their 1099s, they don't allow you to print them on plain paper for the copy that goes to the IRS. It still needs to be printed on the red form, with the red ink and all that stuff. So they say you can print it on plain paper, but you got to have your printer have the red ink in the printer and all of that. So we're just providing the ability to print it on the pre-printed forms at this time.
Gotcha. Another question. We have several election workers that exceeded the $600 this year. I know that we issued them a W-2, but is their income included in the quarterly 941 reports?
Yes, it should be automatically included in the 941. And as they go over, if you have the system set up correctly, it'll do the retro taxes based on the entire amount that they went over. So when they went over when they were under the limit, they got no taxes taken out. And then when they go over the limit, the system will retroactively take out the appropriate amount of taxes from the first day that they worked as an election worker for the year. And then report that on the 941 properly if everything is set up correctly. So if you need to verify that your setup is correctly, you can give us a call on support and we can link into your computer and take a look. But yes, they should be showing up on the 941 because they are considered a regular employee for that day that they worked as an election worker.
Again, we're so happy to have you guys as clients and customers. We hope that everyone has a Merry Christmas. From Couch State Incorporated, we wish all of you a Merry Christmas. Appreciate you guys coming out today, and looking forward to 2020 finally being over and all this COVID craziness being behind us. So Merry Christmas, everyone, and have a happy New Year. We'll see you guys in 2021.